Consider we have a function. It could be anything. For now, it doesn't really matter what the function is. What can you tell the function's limit is? How can you tell if it stops or it doesn't? How can you tell the function is diverging or converging, what its limit as it approaches a certain number a? Well, to know what a function's limit is when approaching a number a is by simple substitution. As you can see here, the limit of this function as x approaches 1 is 5, and when it approaches 2 it's 15. And at 3 it's 31, and so on. But don't confuse functions as only simple substitution. It's more than that. Limits don't mean definite values, though it might seem like it. Limits tell you values functions turn to be approaching when variables in the function approach some value. For example, we see a function getting smaller as the variable increases. But let me ask you this. What is the value of that function as x approaches infinity? 0, right? We call this limits at infinity. This part of the topic describes how functions behave as they steer towards infinity. To generalize it, if the denominator increases faster than the numerator, then we can show it converges to a value c, where c is some value or point that the whole function converges to when x approaches infinity. But if the numerator increases faster than the denominator, that is vice versa, then it never converges to a point. It spreads out its wings never to return to the edge of infinity. Then we could say the function is diverging and conclude no one knows where the function will stop. Because it never stops, it's limitless. As for constants, I might say at will that they don't get affected by limits because they are constants, right? It doesn't really matter if the constant is in the function or attached to the function, it doesn't get affected. To understand limits more, it's important to know that the sum of two functions at their limits is the same as limits of their sum, which is same thing for subtraction and for multiplication and for division, and even same thing for exponential powers. Limits are not limited to these. Limits, those cryptic guardians of mathematical realms, beckon us from the shadows. Their existence, like wisps of smoke, tantalizes the curious mind. Within their grasp lies the key to transcendence, the power to touch the infinite. Study them, mortal seeker, for they guard the gateway to calculus, where derivatives and integrals converge. Venture forth, and you shall unravel both the mundane and the miraculous.